Hello everybody, welcome to the MaffmanJones movie channel. I am your host as always, John Maffio, and today's featured movie is Uncut Gems. It stars Adam Sandler, but it's not even remotely a comedy. There are humorous moments in the film that reflect the tone and atmosphere of the character, but it comes from the actions of our characters. But it's mostly a very serious movie that's very intense, and I feel like I almost had a panic attack watching the film because I forgot to breathe for a majority of it, or at least it felt like that. It's kind of like sometimes when you drive home from work and you're just on autopilot, so you don't realize you're really driving and stopping and being aware of your surroundings until you get home, and you realize your brain was just kind of like in a function where it just served the purpose of getting you home because it's been used to it for so long, but then you forget that you drove home, and it's terrifying. And it kind of reminded me of that a little bit, but I just went on a little tangent about not remembering that you're driving somewhere. But this movie is about Adam Sandler's character. He's a jeweler, he's a gambler, he has an addiction problem, and he makes bets with the wrong people all the time. He's got people on his back waiting to kill him at any given moment. And it's just a movie about him descending further and further down into a really terrible place with his inability to make rational decisions. And we find out through a 2-hour runtime whether or not he can survive his own endeavors that put him in the position that he's in and continuing to be in for the entire movie. I was going into this movie with a lot of expectations in the back of my head because I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I really like Adam Sandler in general. When he gets the chance to be dramatic and show off his chops, it really shows. And this film isn't what it is without Adam Sandler because he pretty much carries the entire movie. He's in almost every frame. Every scene is burdened and built upon his character, moving from place to place, doing action to action. And without Adam Sandler, you don't have the movie that we have here. You could have cast another actor, but I think this is one of those movies where if you cast somebody else, you have a completely different movie tonally, or you just don't, maybe it doesn't even work altogether, because he's the kind of guy that you should really hate, just given his decision makings in life. But at the end of the day, Adam Sandler brings this little piece of humanity to it, where you can kind of feel terrible for the guy, and it makes everything that much more intense because you're watching it just hoping that something right happens for the guy. It's kind of like if you're a Giants fan and you're a big fan of Eli Manning, which I am very much so, and I'm not going to get into the whole detailed analysis of his season this year, but he seems like a really cool guy and a really good dude at heart, and he's won us 2 Super Bowls. He's done a lot of great things for the organization, but in the past 5 years or so, he hasn't been playing well. But you want him to play good because you like him so much and because he's done so much for the organization. You just want to root for the guy. So when he doesn't play good and he throws an interception or he gets sacked or he makes a mistake, it's like, Eli, no. So the same thing here. It's like, no, Adam, no.
Somebody kill me, please. I'm on my knees. Pretty, please. Kill me.
The surrounding cast of Uncut Gems is also pretty solid. I really like newcomer Julia Fox. Idina Menzel has a few really fun moments. Kevin Garnett's in this movie, and he actually has a lot more screen time than I anticipated, and he's actually really good in the movie. Lakeith Stanfield's always really fantastic and always brings something to the table acting-wise. Eric Bogosian is somebody I'm not really familiar with, but he brought something sinister to his role too, somewhat scary. The Weeknd's in this movie, and he's The Weeknd, doing Weeknd things. But I enjoyed seeing him in the movie too. Lying beneath the surface of Uncut Gems, I feel like there's something very mystical and fantastical. This whole thing is that Adam Sandler gets this rock shipped to him that has this, it's Uncut Gems, and it's showcasing all the colors of the rainbow, and it's really beautiful and vibrant and elegant looking. And Kevin Garnett, for unspoiled reasons, wants this rock because it may or may not benefit him. And I feel like there's some kind of Space Jam thing going on here that may or may not be true, and I'm kind of reading into this way more than I should, but I feel like you can look at this movie as some kind of mythical film that shows the underlying sins and vices that people commit when they're at the service of something greater than themselves, or at least they think that. And I really, really liked all that, especially with the music. The music, if you've seen Good Time, the previous Safdie Brothers film with Robert Pattinson, the musical score there is entrancing too, and it kind of really brings you into this new perspective watching the movie. Same thing here. Without the music being what the music is, I kind of feel like this movie could be perceived differently. Sonically, it's hypnotic, and especially the way the movie opens and ends, kind of like opening and closing a book, but in the strangest of ways without saying anything about it. But the music does bring this movie to another level, I think, personally. And again, to mention the Safdie Brothers, who are now 2 for 2 in my book, they have a really great sense of urgency and motion and just continuing the momentum of a character moving and committing actions and seeing where those actions lead from scene to scene. And again, there was a part in this movie, not because of the particular scene, but midway through the movie, I think it was, I sort of realized that I wasn't breathing, and I was trying to catch my breath, remembering to breathe, and I almost had an anxiety attack. I almost had to step out and just like take a second to like get my shit together, because I really thought in that theater, I was like, oh God, I'm going to have to leave. My head, oh! And yes, I 100% blame the movie for that happening. I was truly captivated by Good Time 2 years ago, but I think I like Uncut Gems more as a movie. Adam Sandler's performance really makes the film, and it carries the movie all the way through, but the Safdie Brothers cannot be understated here. Their directing is fantastic. The music is wonderfully mystical, in my opinion, and it really brings, in my opinion, this underlying element that may or may not be subjectively placed upon the movie, but in my opinion, it makes the movie that much more rewatchable. And I would be remiss if I did not mention the way that Safdie Brothers really capture the griminess and the dirtiness that is New York City. And New York City can be beautiful. It is beautiful, but kind of like Martin Scorsese in the olden days with movies like Mean Streets and Taxi Driver, they know how to film a movie and really bring a vibe and atmosphere to a movie that really makes you feel like, ugh, this place is nasty. But I would absolutely recommend Uncut Gems. One of my favorites of the year for sure. I definitely want to see it again soon. Now that I've seen the movie and I absorbed all the information on the movie, I could watch it again knowing everything I've seen, and I think I'm going to like it even more a second time around and more times moving forward. But now I want to know from all you boys and girls, have you seen Uncut Gems? And if you have, let me know in the comments down below what you thought of it. If this is before Christmas or you're watching this after Christmas when it comes out in a more wider release, let me know what you thought about it, and who was your favorite performance in the movie? Did you feel the way I did in terms of just the intensity and the tense nature of the film, just not letting go? And yeah, is it one of your favorites of the year like it is mine? If you enjoyed watching this video, please like it if you would be so kind. And if you like watching my face talk about movies and you haven't subscribed yet, you could do that. And also ring the bell so you'll never miss a notification for a video of mine ever again, whether it's this, the show, MaffmanJones movie show, or the Star Wars show, Wake Up Smell the Tauntaun. And that's it for today. Thank you very much once again for tuning in. I'll leave you guys with this. Peeing your pants is the coolest. I'll see you guys next time.